That's right. That's how we do it around here. How is everybody doing today, y'all? I am happy in the Old West. As you can see, I'm very West legitimate today. It's blue. It's slightly matching the blue napkins I seen in the Old West Bar and Grill I was in the other day. Let me tell you, Sid ate up a storm, my horse. You can't see him. He's hiding out. He's getting ready for my surprise guest for today. Can you believe they make a teddy bear for a horse? So I think he's going to sing. I think my guest is going to sing too. She's very literate in the fashion world of Barney today. And I know there's a lot of fans that's ready to see her. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well. And before we bring our guests on, I'm gonna do like I always do. I have a throwback commercial, so my guests might get a kick out of it.
This sink was cleaned by Albert's mother. She got all the tough, greasy stains she could see, and lots more she couldn't see, because they were way below the surface in teeny tiny cracks. Albert's mom used Comet with bleach-boosted chlorinol, which, unlike her old cleanser, penetrates tough grease better and bleaches way down deep. Next time, consider Comet, considering what happens in sinks. For dirt you see and dirt you don't. Comet for the deeper clean.
Well, it does go with Barney. Clean up, everybody do your share. But hey, I'm not a singer. I'm just a average country guy in the Old West. It's good. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the one and only, my dear friend, who is running for our next mayor next year with her Teddy outfit. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lauren King is here. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Matt. Quite the intro, as usual. And what are you
uh,
talking about, Old West?
oh, West.
You're in Baltimore, aren't you?
I am. I am in Baltimore, but an old Westerner can keep his imagination on tack, and we
Oh,
do and we do have some areas around here that has land and horses and what have you. So.
okay, all right. Well, I guess you want to be a cowboy when you grow up. That works.
Oh. well, I know the weather is great where you were at. The sun is brightening your face today. That means you're in a good mood.
Yes, it's a little overcast, but it is very bright lighting outside. Yes, so I apologize if half of my face is angelic and the other half is a little darker.
It's okay. Look, you near the sun on one end, and your teddy bear is on the other end, blocking the sun. Are you able to hum some verses for our fans today of the song?
Oh, goodness. Me and my best teddy bear. There you go.
There you go. Well, I know it's.
We're in space today. We're headed to the moon. Where's the moon? Over here. Yeah. Just the
Ooh.
big moon in the background is that's my husband's doing. He really liked that image, so he decided to put it in the office. So that is why it looks like I am going to the moon today
Mm-hmm.
with my teddy bear.
Flying high in the sky.
Yeah,
'Cause I remember all
yeah,
the words.
I remember that one. That was a good one.
But of course, we talked about me and Teddy, and I did come prepared today with some
Me and my best teddy bear sitting in my favorite chair. We are going out to play just like every day. I've got lots of friends out there, and they're lots of fun. But they're not my teddy bear. He's my favorite one. Me and my teddy getting all ready to play. Me and my teddy getting all ready to play.
Those are good memories.
yeah. Now before we go into your early years, since I brought that clip up first, for the fans, what do you remember about that Radio City experience?
Yeah. Well, looking at it now, it's like my costume, it's like channeling a little like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz mixed with like a sailor. I'm not really sure. But it was cute. The socks are funny because my daughter actually has some very similar socks that she wears. So it's kind of cute to see that. I'll have to show her that later. But the thing that stands out the most with that clip was the giant bears that came out on the stage. That was awesome how they did that and created that. But those bears, the people that were dressed up in the bear costumes, some of them were Rockettes. And it was, I guess, growing up, my mom and Nana, which I had a Nana on the show as well, which was just a coincidence. But my mom and my real Nana, they loved the Rockettes. So getting to meet some of the Rockettes and spend time with them and have them as dancers as part of that number is just an amazing memory.
Well, obviously, it was a lot of fun for everybody. I mean, it's really ironic how y'all, it was your song for the PBS show, and then to do Radio City and to have the Rockettes be in them bear outfits dancing with you. I didn't show the whole clip, but when y'all put the legs going up,
Yes.
and that's like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade all over.
Which is coming up soon, by the way.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, like I said, like just having the Rockettes as part of that and even doing kicks with the Rockettes is just something I can cherish and have as a memory for the rest of my life. And that's pretty amazing.
So since you brought it up first, does that mean this year you're going to be in the Thanksgiving parade? You're going to do one of them dance numbers?
Yes, I'll be in a little polka dot dress
Ooh.
and red shoes. No, that would be really neat if they recreated something like that. If Barney had some sort of like comeback from when we were on the show, but I would totally do it too. Gosh, that would be incredible to be in the Macy's Day Parade as myself back then. But anyways, that was a neat memory, a really neat memory. I'm not sure whose idea it was to incorporate that into the New York show, but I'm so thankful that it was.
So when did you? Well, I know the story, but for the fans that's watching today, because there's a lot of people who sent me a message 2 days ago saying they're excited that you're here, can't wait that you're here. So, but for those who don't know, when did you decide you wanted to get into acting?
Yeah, so it actually started when I was still in diapers. I used to watch Annie on the VHS tape that I had. And once I learned, I think I was 3, once I learned how to rewind and play, I would sit there and learn the songs and dances from Annie. And I would rewind and play, learn it. And then when my dad got home from work, I would take both of their hands, my parents' hands, and sit them on the couch and perform what I had learned that day. So really, since I've been in diapers, or since I was in diapers, I'm not in diapers anymore, just to clarify that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
maybe later in the future, but right now, this chapter, no. I'm changing diapers in this chapter of my life. But anyways, since I was 3, I've always had a connection to music and dancing and performing. And I would sit in front of the TV and just memorize songs and dances from concert tapes or Annie. And I watched Barney before I was on Barney. But I did do some commercials before Barney. And like I was in a Chuck E. Cheese commercial. And so it was just kind of a natural fit for me from a young age. So
I'll try to find some of your old commercials, because when you said Chuck E. Cheese, like, oh, I didn't know you was in Chuck E. Cheese commercial, even though I'm not a Chuck E. Cheese pizza eating guy. I like Domino's, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it could be a little creepy if you went into a Chuck E. Cheese like by yourself as a grown man.
Well,
But it did. Do you remember when it was called Showbiz Pizza?
I do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that it was actually a Showbiz Pizza commercial. But anyways, I did perform around Dallas too, singing. Singing was a big part of my childhood. I would sing at Opry's and just always loved performing and singing.
And well, you still singing now. I mean, you're singing to the youngsters, and if you do manage to get in one of these Thanksgiving parades, we're going to deck it out with polka dots, and it's going to be Lauren King Returns, Diaper Incorporated. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And a giant teddy bear, that would be cool.
yeah, hey, we can find David Joyner. I've gotten to know him recently, so hey.
There you go. He'd be all in, I'm sure.
Um, Well, ironically, people probably don't recall this, and I know we've talked about this. 'Cause I know you joined Barney in season one, but you are a part of the Backyard Gang because you came during the Rock with Barney home video. How did that come about for you?
Yeah. So I actually still remember the audition. And there was there were so many kids there. I think there was like 500 plus kids there auditioning, and some kids had experience performing, and some kids were just there because they loved Barney and they wanted to be there. But anyways, I just remember that Miss Penny, who was the choreographer, longtime choreographer for the show, she was in the audition as long as the casting director Shirley Abrams, and then Dennis DeShazer. That's
It's
a hard.
okay. He's not here, so it's okay.
Say that 3 times in a row. Anyways, he was there as well, and we had to learn like a little song. It had to do with a frog, and we had to pretend there was like a frog on a log, and like sing a little song and perform it for them. And yeah, that's what I remember of the audition. So it was basically just doing what I was used to doing at home or performing around Dallas. So
Well, I have to say, you really blew us out of the water with the "Me and My Teddy" song, and it's ironic that song became kind of Kathy's theme throughout your entire run on the
yeah.
show. And that could, if you ever decide to be a natural singer, you should re-put that on your actual album.
Maybe we could turn it more pop sounding, or maybe incorporate a little R&B or rap into it. That would
Sure.
be
Yo, what the "Me and My Teddy"? We're here now. We're having fun. Sure, we'll do that.
I ain't afraid of the dark.
There you go.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny actually to do a remix of that song. Maybe I should get with some Nashville producers since I live in Nashville now and try to get
Yeah.
that.
Right. Or maybe we'll slow it down and go, "Me and my Teddy, sitting around the tree. I guess it's ing. We're getting ready for bed. Country. Well,
Country, more put a little twang to it. Yeah,
you know.
we
I
could
mean,
do.
unless you or opera. Me and my Teddy, we're
Yeah,
sitting
I,
on a tree.
I don't think the opera would work too well. No.
I'm just having fun. Well, I know the fans want to know too. I know there's something else we talked about before, but what was it like interacting with all the kids? I mean, Michael and Lucy and all of them. Lucy was the oldest, of course, but it was like a blend mix of everybody. And you came in with Sean and then
Mhm.
Tasha joined y'all midway, so it was a like the eight of y'all pretty much.
Yep. And, we were all staggered in age. So it was an interesting dynamic, I guess. I was always the youngest and the baby. Um, Leah, who played Lucy, was always kind of the motherly figure on set and in the school, like in the classroom that we went to. She was very nurturing and just kind of a natural, like, caretaker type personality, especially with the younger kids. And Brian, who played Michael, I actually because I watched the show before I was on Barney, and I had a little crush on Michael, the character Michael. But obviously, once I got in the mix and everything, I Michael was a character. Brian was not Michael, so but he was older, and everyone was just really sweet and kind of looked after the younger ones in a way. And then Jessica Zuka, who used to play Tina, she was always really fun. We lived near each other, so we would have like sleepovers, and she was kind of a fun like babysitter, closer to my age, but like I don't know, we had a lot of fun together. And yeah, it was interesting because we were all at different school ages too. So doing our schoolwork, I always had help, because I was the youngest and everyone was older than me in other grades. So I always had like 5 tutors to help me with any help I needed on my schoolwork. So, but that was interesting to we each got our schoolwork faxed in, and we would just kind of sit and do our own stuff, and the teacher would walk around and help us here and there. But we were all on different grade levels and doing different stuff. So it was definitely not like normal school.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine that? You want Barney. If it was like school, you could pass and automatically go to the 5th grade, 6th grade, and hey, I did most of my school on Barney, so I'm smart. So
yeah, I did have to have like I had like teachers from the school come over to my house when I wasn't on set, like in the afternoon, and just make sure that I was keeping up with all the schoolwork and what the kids were doing in regular school, and to try to normalize it in a way as much as possible, or just keep that connection with my school, my real school, not the Barney school, my real school. So
I got 2 fan questions here. The first fan, I don't know if it was a Barney related episode, but I think he wants to know if you like or scared of alligators.
Actually, I am very terrified of alligators. Alligators are a big part of my life right now because I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they have alligator books, and they love alligators because when they're that age, they're like cartoon figures and fun alligators. But alligators and snakes terrify me. I mean, you should be scared of alligators. If you're not scared of alligators, then, you probably should be, because they are very dangerous.
Well, I know I am. I mean, rest in peace. So we're not Steve Irwin, the animal guy. I guess he did all the alligator stuff. That's not for me.
Nope, not me either. We actually, it's kind of funny they asked that question, but my husband and I were on a trail in Florida, one vacation, and the trail, it was like a preserve, and there was a defined trail, but it was pretty rustic and rugged terrain. But there was 4 snakes at the very beginning of the trail, and I was so wigged out by then, and I was like screaming and jumping. I even screamed and jumped over a tree root because I thought it was a snake, and I scared my husband, but he should have been scared because he almost stepped on a snake that was in the trail. Anyways, well, we go along this trail, and there's an alligator in the middle of the trail, a baby alligator. So my first thought is, okay, where's the mom? Is she gonna like come out and attack us? But
Right.
my husband told me to jump over the alligator, and I was like, I am not jumping over this thing. You can jump over it, but I am not jumping over this alligator. So he ended up putting a stick in its mouth, and it was like hissing, and we got over it and continued on our lovely trail journey. But yeah, alligators are just, no, I don't do alligators. I don't do snakes, and I have nightmares about them.
I mean, to bring up the whole jump over it. I mean, he do know that, if they're paying attention, right, you try to jump over it, they can, jump up and,
Exactly.
you
That's
know,
what I told him. I was like, alligators can jump. I'm like,
yes.
yeah. Yes.
And another fan was asking, are you looking forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas this year?
I am. I love the holidays. I love Halloween. My mom was always a big Halloween person. She decked our house out in decorations every year. We used to have Halloween parties, and she got really into it. And then I love how Halloween ends, and then now it gets into the magic and the lights of Christmas and Thanksgiving. So this is my favorite time of the year.
So, is your teddy bear gonna be with you this year? I mean, is he cooking honey, or is he gonna bring a baby boss blankie this year?
I wish I had that teddy, actually. I really wish that was something that I was able to keep once I left the show. But I was able to keep my shoes, the little black and white saddle shoes. But the teddy is always something that I've thought about that I wish that I would have been able to kind of hold on to. But we have a lot of teddy bears around here, so we're good in the teddy bear department.
There you go. Well, let me see. Oh, yes. I don't know if you remember this moment, but this is one of my favorite Kathy moments right here.
Goodbye, Barney.
I'll see you soon.
And here's the doctor. Barney? How did you do that?
Oh, just a little Barney magic for a very special friend. Now then, in a checkup, the doctor just looks at all the ways you're growing and looks to be sure that every part of your body is healthy, okay?
Okay.
Then first, let's see how much you weigh. Step right up on my special doctor scale, please. Okay, let's see. You weigh 58 pounds. Would you please write that down, Nurse Tasha?
That's funny.
Kathy going to the doctors. I think that'd be cool for some kids to have Barney as their doctor, but y'all did do the whole Make a Wish Foundation, so I know there was a lot of kids that was happy to see Barney.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I actually remember seeing that take. I remember the challenge of Barney's claw thing, um, doing the scale. Like,
Mm-hmm.
was he made it? They made it look good, but it took several takes to really kind of help him get that down. But yeah, I mean, you look at David Joyner and kind of how he was able to manipulate the costume and everything, and Barney, and it's pretty incredible what he was able to do. Yeah, just like, and even having the tail and stuff back there and the punky feet and not knock down everyone or everything around. Like, he was very aware of his. I don't know how I did it, but it was
Whoa.
incredible.
Two of me popped up.
Wow.
that was not
there, cowboy.
that was not the plan.
Great.
What I was getting ready to say though was now I lost my train of thought. So
Well, we were talking about Barney and the costume.
yeah, I'm aware of that. What I was going to say was, yeah, is it true that you told me once that you got in the costume or you wanted to get in the costume? Is that true?
No, that was not me. No, that thing was hot and sticky in there, and I think he had a fan actually in the costume. No, I'm sure I can't imagine what it smelled like, but it probably wasn't. They probably had to disinfect it quite often, but no, I never got in the costume. No, never saw the inside. but he would talk out, and there was some sort of straw in there or some sort of contraption that helped the mouth move, and he would, I can't remember if he would like bite down on it or not, but he was always yelling stuff out of the mouth, like during takes or telling jokes or making funny comments, like while we were filming or rehearsing. But of course, you could never hear that when they, have the final show on. But he was in there always saying funny stuff coming out of Barney's mouth. It was fun.
Yeah, David was one heck of a guy, and
Yeah.
like I said, I've gotten to know him, and he told me a lot of funny jokes and gestures, and I know
Sure.
the fans and yourself will be happy to hear some things when I share what that is.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I got another fan who says hi. His name is Tim. He says hi to you,
Hi.
and he says, Lauren, you and all the cast members of Barney deserve a lot of love, care, support, and prayers forever. And he talked about Thanksgiving, and he also asked, what is your favorite Christmas song of all time?
Oh, well, that's easy. First of all, thank you. I appreciate the sweet thoughts and comments. But gosh, I love Christmas, and my favorite Christmas song that is kind of my go-to song when I like sing Christmas songs is the Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas Is You."
Well, that's a classic. They play that like all the time, 24/7 each year. So that's
Yes.
something else we got to put in your album too. Your version of it.
Yeah, it just never gets old for me. That song is amazing. And then also like there's like a jazzy Jingle Bells version that I like too. But yeah, after Barney, I actually used to perform around Dallas as a young adult in Christmas shows and stuff. So I loved doing the shows like that because Christmas music is just it's my favorite. It's so fun.
Wait, you perform? Wait a minute. Well, then, can I get your autograph?
Yeah. Ah.
Well, I'm in the same category. I love Christmas too. It's just something. I don't know. It's just something magically about that time of year. Like I feel like that's one time a year when everybody comes together and it's love. And it might sound boring to some people, but I like when I go to the store, certain stores, and they got Christmas stuff up and the music. I mean, it's just every year it's like a different
It
thing.
is.
I
And
love doing that.
I kind of feel, I mean, especially right now, I feel like our society is in a tough place. People are, more on edge and more anxiety and more anger than I've ever seen on this earth. But I feel like stuff like Christmas can just lift people up, and just having the decorations and the music and the lights and just the magic behind it, it just automatically lifts people's spirits and brings them together, like you said. So I do love this time of year for sure.
Um, what was that? Well, you stayed with Barney from Back Our Gang season one up until the end of season three, and you also did Radio City. Was it hard to leave when your time came to an end?
Um, it was bittersweet. I wouldn't say it was hard. I was getting older, and I felt like, it was just kind of a natural thing to move on for me, because it was you kind of know when you're done with a character, and that was the feeling I had. I was old. I was getting older. I was involved in sports, and at the point in my life where I was ready to move on and not be Lauren, the Barney girl, and just kind of start taking on my own identity with sports and other stuff and activities and whatnot. So it was just kind of time. And really, one of the decisions that kind of really made it was going to my class camp. They had all of the kids went to a camp for school, and it was kind of the big deal every year that in this grade everyone went to this camp together. and I had a choice. My mom or my parents gave me a choice. They're like, do you want to film this video or do you want to go to camp? And initially I was going to film the video, and my mom had taken me and a couple of my best friends to the camp before like the class went, so I could kind of get a taste of the camp and film the video. But in the end, I ended up going to my class camping trip, and that was kind of my peaceful parting. So
The end of an era, because I know I know a lot. I know I would- at least I know I was sad to see you go, because you and here comes some sirens. So I don't know, something's coming past now. Okay, they turn.
yeah.
Oh Lord. Hey, I voted and did my taxes this year. Okay, I'm the Rangers, so
That's
they
great.
coming with me to catch the bad guys. I know at least for a lot of fans like myself, it was a transition, because when you left, it was also the last season for Tasha and Min and
Yeah.
Julie and Jason, who was new in season 2. He left,
Mhm.
and a lot of you guys had left. Tina and Derek had also made their final appearance that
Yeah.
year, and it was newbies in season 4, and some of them like Steven and the twins, some of them came in with y'all in season 3 and
Uh-huh.
went into season 4. So, it was bittersweet and kind of the end for the early year kids,
Yeah.
as we welcomed the newbies, but it was great having you on. And then you also got to come back for the Sing and Dance with Barney video, all growing up with Brian Epps and
Yeah, the
Tasha.
reunion video. Yeah, that was fun to see everyone and be back on set, and then be able to kind of I don't know if people have seen that one, but I kind of passed the torch in a way with the Me and My Teddy song, and got to sing it at, as an older um, Kathy, and sit and sing it with a younger character. And that was a neat moment.
Yeah.
That was a really neat moment. But they never really carried that song on with her like anyone else. I feel like it kind of after that, it kind of just retired.
I think so, because I don't recall that being played like in the later. Well, I didn't watch the later years when Bob West left, but I think that kind of ended after that. I
Hmm.
don't recall that song being played.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And they did, the new kids that they had were really talented, and they did a really great job. And they obviously had um, more resources, I guess, or the ability to kind of make the set bigger or do a few bigger things. But, it was never the same kind of after that, after the core kids left. The characters weren't, the characters were more defined, I think, in the early years. The kids from the kids, the dinosaurs were always, the stars and whatnot. But I don't think they ever had that same build up around the kids in the future seasons.
yeah.
So,
I forgot to ask early on, any memories of our good friend Jim Riley, who was a wonderful director, and like Miss Penny, he worked very closely with you guys.
yeah. Um, he was fun. He was always so nice. One thing I remember about Jim is that he had this podium on the set where he would have his script laid out, and he was constantly taking notes in the script and in the binder. He actually might have had multiple binders on this podium, but the art department, I think, they rigged it to where they put wheels on the bottom, or they put the podium on top of like a piece of plywood with wheels, like a dolly type thing. And it was mobile. He became mobile with his podium, and it was game changing for him, because now he could roll around the set. If he needed to come and talk to one of us, he would roll his podium over to us, and he was able to take his notes and keep his script right
Oh
there,
my
and
gosh.
not have to like carry it around, because they were heavy. The scripts were big and heavy, especially with all the revisions and everything. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I remember the rolling podium, and that's kind of what I remember of Jim Rowley. When I think of him standing at his rolling podium and rolling around.
Did you have well, getting off the show? Well, one more thing on Barney, I was going to ask, and I know everybody's going to ask, what was your favorite song? Now you can't say "Me and My Teddy" because that's Kathy's favorite
I
song, so
won't. I
that
won't.
doesn't count.
Okay, okay. I think one of my favorite songs was "Everyone Is Special." I loved that song, and what's another one that I loved? Well, you love Mr. Knickerbocker, and that's one that's always stuck in my head that I like. And then the other song I like, it just has a good beat, and it's "Oh, we are flying in an airplane, looking out the window." I like that one too.
Let me see if I can do this right now. Yo, yo, we're here with Mr. Knickerbocker on the side. It's Range and Matt with me and my Teddy. It's Lauren King. She's the queen, and she's going to be number one with Megan Steam now. She's flying in the airplane. She's getting down with Mr. Sun. And she's
Yes.
even going to call her old friends, and she's going to do a reunion on Barney and Friends. Now, let's see.
That's actually a really good idea to do like a Barney remix of all the songs, not just we were talking about the Me and My Teddy remix earlier, but to do like a whole album of remix Barney songs. I mean, I feel like
Mm.
that would be golden. I feel like a lot of people would like it. That would be super cool.
Did you have any friends? Well, outside of Barn, did you have any like family or friends, even when you went back to school, who knew you was on Barney? Like, what was that reaction like?
Yeah, it was not something, and still to this day, it's not something that I would like just tell people, you know. But obviously, all of the school kids and the kids in my life knew because I was absent in school a lot, and I was doing this and that, and it was just kind of a known. It was just kind of known growing up in
Hmm.
my circle of friends and activities because I would have to miss dance or something because I would be filming or come from this and that. So, um, and then, obviously my family, all of my family knew. Um, and my cousins, distant relatives, they all, thought that was really cool to have a Barney girl in the family. Um, but it was definitely not something that I publicized and went
Hmm.
around talking about. I kept it more of a secret, and that carried on in my adult life too. Like I could be friends with someone at work in my adult life for 6 years, like really good friends, and they would never know.
Did anybody recognize you at some point?
So I did get recognized as a young adult, which was crazy. It happened. It just happened one time where I was. It was like the last time I got recognized, but it was definitely when I was a young adult, and I still. It was bizarre. Like I have no idea how someone would possibly recognize me as Kathy on Barney as when I was an adult, but it happened.
Well, I mean, you believe it or not, even though you're a full-grown adult and diapers is your theme, but
Yeah.
no, but even so, on the real side, you do still look like yourself when you was on Barn, even though you are older now and you now have children and married. Barn, the young Kathy that we knew is still in you, and I'm pretty sure one year for Halloween or Christmas, for the heck of it, you should do your hair like Kathy's had, one of them little bows on both ends, and just bring a teddy bear and be like, "Hey, I'm Lauren. I played Kathy on Barney and Friends back in the day, and I am all grown up." Like the big comfy couch, that girl,
Oh yeah.
like a throwback.
Yeah. Yes. That would be funny. That's cute. This year my family and I we were the Peter Pan. My husband was Peter Pan, which he wasn't a big fan of wearing the green leggings or green tights, but he did it. He was a trooper. But I was Wendy, and my little guy was Captain Hook, and my little
Oh,
girl was Tinkerbell. But that's a cute idea. That would be fun to try to do like a Barney theme, but maybe just so I wouldn't creep people out too much, maybe my little girl can take on Kathy, and she can wear the curly pigtails and the bows and whatnot.
yeah.
I could be like Penny or something, the choreographer, or something else. But that's cute.
Um, there's a gentleman named Sam who's a friend of yours, well, a fan of yours. He told me to
Mhm.
tell you hello. And also, I think he's still on watching, but our friend Jess Nelson is watching right now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, Jess is watching. I told Eric Norberg, I talked to him the other day that we was gonna be talking today, so he sends his love.
yeah. That's cool. Jess Nelson, the legend, is watching. That's pretty cool for anyone else watching, that he's watching this, because he is such a talented human being, with an amazing imagination and brain and ability to create, and just an amazing vision, really. He he really helped the show legitimize the show in a way, as far as like the set goes and everything, and like just the professionalism, that was behind it. I mean, it was just state of the art. I mean, he really did an amazing job, helping with that whole creation of the set and the backdrops and everything that made the show warm and magical, and I know it drew me in as a little kid, so I'm sure it drew others in as well that were watching the show. But yeah, hi Jess. And then Eric, he was a camera guy, and those are actually the camera guys that used to work on the show. They also, they would do some sporting events in Dallas, like the Dallas Stars games, the Dallas Mavs games. And as I went to those as an adult and a young adult. And so I would get to see them and kind of go over and say hi to them over the years. So that was always fun.
It's ironic, because it's like from like we've talked about this too. Going back to Jess, that backdrop that he made for years, I never told people this. I thought that was a real neighborhood, but it makes sense now because looking back, I don't recall ever seeing cars driving past. So the idea of y'all having fun
Yeah.
and cars driving past, random people just walking, like what are they doing over there? We never see that. So, but I've always thought like some of them homes in the background. I thought that was a real home, and it just looks so surreal. And to just hear how because everybody at this point know we're doing a documentary on his life, and it'll be out this month.
Yeah.
But I've always thought to just that was real, but to have him like put that whole paint all that together, it's just that's really time consuming. You gotta have a
Yeah.
real
It was
creativeness.
a giant, I mean, I know if I'm like sitting down with a canvas or something and going to paint, like it's hard enough on a little canvas to like get everything kind of to go together and whatnot. But I'm not an artist, obviously, so that's
Yes,
probably
you
why
are.
too. But just the size of that, I mean, it was a huge piece of art. I mean, it was a giant piece of art, basically. And I'm pretty sure they had different ones. They had, because they would change it out with the seasons.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure they did. But it was, yeah, so talented, crazy.
And also another thing I was going to say too, and we were talking about the camera guys. I mean, the thing because for years too, I thought Barney was like California or New York. Dallas didn't come to mind because for Dallas it was Dallas Mavericks, Cowboys, the TV show Dallas with J.R. Ewing, Larry Hagman. So it's like, and I know Dallas had its repertoire of what it was going on at that time. But looking back, you can tell even the kids, y'all had your accents. Everybody had that Texanness, even Leah and Brian and yourself. And to have people like Eric and Victor Sosa and Bruce Harmon and Clay Armstrong and Larry Allen, some of the
Very,
camera
yeah.
guys, it was like a great big group of family, and they all had sports, and a lot of them still doing it today. I know Larry and Eric and Victor still work today a lot. So
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a family, on set and on screen, and then behind the scenes as well. It was a big family. Um, yeah, it was a neat time. And funny you mentioned the accent thing. Miss Penny would work with us on our dialect, and try to eliminate any. I remember, what was the word that she always, well, get. She taught me not to say get. It was get instead of get. And then the other one was it the word often? Often, not often, but often, I think. But she would work with us on trying to minimize the accents. And in my older life now, it's funny because people always say, "Oh, you're from Texas. You don't have an accent at all." And I think that stems from Miss Penny always trying to eliminate our accents. So, yeah. Because, California, we were filmed in Texas and, we became really big. Barney became a huge deal. And I think California, the people out there kind of wished they would have created Barney or something like that. So, we always wanted to try to hide the fact in a way that we are from Texas, because everything was filmed in California. And I just think it was kind of a weird, if people knew that it was in Texas or from Dallas, it would kind of, people would kind of shun away from it a little bit more. Or they wouldn't think it was as professional as if you were to say it's out of LA, Barney was out of LA. So it was always something that we kind of tried to disguise in a way, I guess is a good word. But definitely our accents. Miss Penny worked with us on the accents for sure.
Well, one of the fans is watching Tim. When we were talking about Radio City, he wanted to know, for you, because I've asked people this question too. What was that experience like from filming the TV show in the studio to now being live in front of this audience? Were you nervous? I mean, what was that reaction like doing that?
Yes, I remember it was a little nerve-wracking, and I think that the nerves also for me, like as a kid, came from the adults being a little more nervous about how things would go and work, and making sure it was everything was on point because it was live. So I think that their nerves kind of trickled down to like us being a little more nervous, but at the same time, it was definitely more of an adrenaline rush. So I remember getting hyped up, right before the curtain. Barney announced us one at a time, and so right before the curtain opened, we were all like hyped up back there, and it was just really an adrenaline rush coming out on the stage and skipping. And I remember if I was to come out on set and skip and wave, like my skips would have been 3 feet lower than probably what they were on the live stage, just because I was so hyped up. And but seeing the audience also when you do a live show and hearing them clap and being able to interact with people and seeing, their excitement and their awe, that also gave you a rush and kind of the ability to do more, and I guess confidence on the stage to perform. So that was cool too, and a big difference from just filming the show.
I have to say, it might sound strange, but I will say, you guys are one of the few groups I know to do a live show and pull it off so well that y'all didn't have fans jump on stage like, "Give me a hug, hug, hug," because some fans, they jump on stage when their favorite artist is on stage. So, ironically, you guys were level-headed with the kid fans that no kids felt a need to jump on stage and like, "Hey, I love you guys, hugs."
Yes. I think probably, well, first of all, times were different back then. And I feel
Right.
like that's more of a thing to do now with social media and people wanting attention or just whatever. But also, we were at Radio City Music Hall, and I think the security there at a venue that well known and whatever, the largest stage in the nation or whatever it's coined as, I think that they probably had some of the top security people there and monitored that pretty well and were staffed very well in that department.
Um, do any of your kids have any interest to act?
Um, my little girl, she does some musical theater classes and she enjoys it a lot.
Mm.
Um, she's only 5, which I was 5 when I started Barney. Um, but she does love singing. She really loves singing. And my little guy, he's only 2, but he is very personable, he loves people. Um, he loves to copy Ellington and sing as well. So I don't know. Only time, time will tell if either one of them get the same itch that I had as a young child, but um, we'll see.
Now, when you say itch, do you mean the itch on your arm that you had here when you was on Barney, or the itch to act now?
The itch to act.
Well, I do have a surprise for you. I don't know if you recall this moment, and I know the fans will be surprised to see this, but I did bring a show and tell to show today. So brace yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, what is Ranger Matt going to show today, right?
Right.
Is it playing?
It's special. Everyone in his or her own way. Oh, you are special. Yes, special. Everyone is special. Everyone in his or her own way. You are Jim? Everyone in his or her own way. Do it again.
We're loving Rockets. Good night, Dallas.
That's funny. I thank you for showing me that because now I know where I learned to do that lip thing where that was from Leah and Brian. Now I remember that they are the ones that taught me that in life, how to have a chipmunk lip and tuck your lip under and do a silly face like that.
Hmm.
Kind of doing with us for a while, like to be funny with each other, as we would do that a lot. But that's funny. That's great.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw that clip, I said, wow, you guys were energized. Y'all must have had some extra sugar. I mean, wow,
Probably.
so,
Probably there was not a shortage of desserts on the set, that's for sure. So chances are we were high on sugar. Yes, we had a lot of energy.
I know they didn't, like show where you guys like were or in the studio per se like that. But that would have been interesting to show back then, like, hey, this is how the kids are when they're not filming the show. That they're whoosh,
Yep. Yeah. Um,
you know.
there was, I feel like there was always a lot of energy on set. And I don't know, maybe they intentionally allowed us to have more sugar than usual just to give us that extra push to get through the day because it was a lot of work for kids, a lot of work, constantly dancing and singing. And, you only see a 30-minute show when it's all edited and shown to the public. But behind the scenes, we were doing take after take of the same songs, of the same lines, of the same dances. And sometimes we would even do, I think we went up to 20 takes. So it wasn't just one take, one song, one dance, and do your line, and then we move on. It wasn't like that. It was at least 3 takes probably. So,
Right.
you had to be energized. You had to find that energy somewhere.
Exactly.
We're best friends like friends should be, with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too?
Oh, good night, you little blood.
Had to send some love your way, so I still had that sitting there, and I said, I wonder if that's still there. So, because nobody played the "I Love You" song at the end. Um,
Those
uh,
things, by the way, those mouth things that we had, They tasted like bubble gum in there. It was like a wax type thing, but it tasted like bubble gum. I remember that. I don't know why I remember that, but it stuck.
Well, coincidentally, and I guess this may be a reveal to fans, and but I'll say coincidentally, y'all filmed that it's the second or it's the third episode of Barney and Friends season one, and y'all filmed that the day of Halloween, so that's probably
Aha.
why.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, when Leah and Brian, the older kids, were on the show,
Mm,
I feel like we were we were in on more like jokes or fun stuff just because we had like the older kids to kind of put it together for us. After they left, I feel like there wasn't as many like pranks from the kids, because it was just it was their personalities first of all, and just their age being in the mix with younger kids. They would always put us up to something.
yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you all were like I say, y'all were like one big family. Y'all was together all
Yeah.
the time, and I'm sure too in between the filming, y'all did some public appearances here and there.
Mhm.
So it's like it's one thing to work on the show and people don't click, or not to be politically correct when I say this, but you got somebody that's an a hole, but to work together with people and everybody get along, and whether it's kids or adults or teenagers, it makes the show funner, and it passes the time because the time can drag and nobody's having fun. And then
Yeah.
having people like Jim and Miss Penny and the camera guys, and even Bob West was a loony cake, still is funny today, and Joyner, just having all that energy for you
Those
guys.
personalities were huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
But,
kept.
also, if we didn't gel, if we didn't click, I don't think that Dennis or Cheryl or Kathy Parker at the time when she was there, they probably would have made some changes, because what goes on behind the scenes can have a reflection of what's filmed and how the kids interact on the show as well. And so, I think that if there was kids that didn't get along or there was drama or whatnot, I think that they probably would have made some changes because
Right.
they didn't want that anywhere. Behind scenes, they didn't want that. So
Um. So what is your well? You're young, so you're not old, but what is your legacy, and what are you looking forward into the future? Since we got like another month before 2025 get here.
oh my goodness. Um, I don't know. I think that the younger generations are the young kids. Kids are the future, and I know that's cliche, but it's true. How kids are shaped when they're young um, directly reflects how they are as adults and what they do in their life. So I think just being able to influence young kids in a positive way, um, I think that kind of holds a special place in my heart for me. Um, yeah, it's just inspiring young kids, really, and hoping they
Well,
continue what they learned on Barney and from us, and have applied that in the future and for their futures and stuff.
yeah. Oh, the fans love that. The behind the scenes with the teeth. Everybody was vampires.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Um. Well, Lauren, I gotta say, I've really enjoyed talking with you. I mean, we've gotten to know each other since the documentary, but I've enjoyed talking with you and having you on my show. So,
Yeah.
and I have to say real quick, I know a lot of fans too enjoyed your visit with Karen Stinson a few weeks ago. I don't know how far in advance y'all taped that one, but it must have been fun reconnecting with Carrie as well. 'Cause I know he was at Radio City with you guys as the other Barney, so you know.
Yeah. Lots of fun reconnecting with him and kind of just sharing memories and helping each other remember different things that maybe we wouldn't have remembered if we wouldn't have chatted. So that was fun. But it's always always fun to talk about Barney and the past and kind of relive that now, because a lot of it you do kind of forget or you put, in the back of your brain. And so being able to talk about it and share a lot of fun memories that we had on the show is, it's special. And I really enjoy doing that.
Well, just Nelson just messaged me. I think he loved the show. He said it was wonderful, and it's wonderful seeing you today. And and I got you singing again. I don't know if you can. Whoop! Wait a minute. Maybe I gotta do this again. Technical glitch. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, it was you and let me see. It's you and Barney. The twinkle twinkle little stars.
Oh, yes. I remember my mom, she loved that song, the Twinkle Twinkle song with Barney that I did. That was one of her favorites. I feel like that one always brought her to tears or made her emotional. She loved that one. Oh, and the other one that she loved was Rockabye Baby with Baby Bot. That one also was she loved it. Brought her to tears too.
Well, you are the twinkle. Well, you were the twinkle for your parents, and I know your mom since then has passed, but I know she's with you, and she is your star, and you were the twinkle for her, and you're a star to everybody. So I keep telling you, you need to run for mayor or get your album out. People are going to go crazy.
Not mayor, not politics, not for me. But the remix Barney song album, that I like that.
Well, before I let you go, like always, I'm going to just zoom in on you one on one. Is there a message you want to say to the fans that's watching?
Yeah, thanks for listening. And I hope that it's fun to hear kind of some of the memories and behind the scenes that I have from the show and being Kathy on Barney for a lot of my childhood. So thanks for being fans. And it's neat that you've given me the opportunity. You're still a fan, and you've now given me the opportunity as an adult to share everything. So I appreciate that. So thank you.
And yes, Tim, the clip with you and Barney with the star, yes, that was the treasure of Rainbow Beard. That Stephen White played the Rainbow Beard
Yes,
character.
that was a great episode. That was amazing.
Mm. Well, Lauren, thanks for joining me today on my podcast. And I have to also give you a double clap because even though I've had some Barney guests on last week and beforehand, you are the top rated viewer I've had today with me starting this brand new Ranger Matt Hour show. So
Well,
thank you
I'll
for
be
that.
looking for my prize in the mail, Matt.
Yes, you will. Well, hang tight. I'm going to close out the show and we'll have a quick chat.
All right.
Oops, I closed out before she said goodbye. So I'm properly have you say goodbye.
Bye.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in today. This has been fun. I have enjoyed it. Thank you to the fans who came on to watch Lauren, because I know Lauren is the most talked about Barney kid that they wanted on the show, and they got their wish. I hope I can get some more Barney kids on my show from the early years. I know I've talked to some for the later years that you'll see on. And stay blessed, stay well, stay safe. Try to hug your teddy bear. Hold your teddy. Me and my teddy, rock the bye, baby. We're getting ready for bed. Waka, yo. But I'm just a cowboy ranger. So what do I know? Thanks again for tuning in, guys. It's been a blast. Thank you, Lauren, for coming on today. And stay blessed, stay well. And I believe next week or the following week before Thanksgiving, I have another guest from the childhood canon who was on Wishbone. So Gene Simpson. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, stay blessed.